Alter Echo is a third-person action-adventure video game developed by Outrage Games and published by THQ. Alter Echo tells the story of a futuristic world where psychics, known as Shapers, can use a special substance called plast to form anything from weapons to buildings. The world's greatest Shaper, Pavo, has made a breakthrough on a faraway planet, creating a new and more powerful plast called Echoplast. You play as a young Shaper named Nevin, who is stranded on the planet with two friends when Pavo shoots their ship down. The Echoplast, having achieved sentience, gives Nevin a new Echoplast suit and tasks him with stopping Pavo from wiping the entire human race. Starting with the positives, this game is very unique within its visuals and the way it sounds, and even a bit of the gameplay is fairly unique, at least for me. One of the main mechanics you'll be doing for the majority of the game is morphing into different forms. There's 3 separate forms. One of them I will call your basic fighter form. You have a sword and it's your typical hack and slash kind of gameplay. Your second form, which is what I will be calling the gun form, and you'll turn into this big huge thing that has a gun and you'll be shooting everything in sight. The only downside to this is that you move very slowly, so you gotta switch between your fighter form and your gun form if you want to move quickly or not. But it works pretty well if you want to shoot things. There's even a little area where you can hook up a Gatling gun to shoot down bigger enemies or shoot down some rocks or walls that need to get out of your way so you can progress. It's kind of nice. And the third and final form is your stealth form, where you turn into this alien dog thing, and it's funny because you can pounce on enemies and smack them in the face. It was pretty funny when I did it the first time, but yeah. This form is actually pretty useful for taking down enemies because it takes them down the quickest. It's called the stealth form for a reason because you can sneak past other enemies, and you're going to have to use the stealth form sometimes because there's areas where you'll get hurt if they see you, so turning invisible for a brief period of time is pretty neat. Switching between the different forms is pretty standard. You hit your L1 or R1 to switch between the 3, and it's all very fast, it's all very snappy. And I think this gimmick works really well. I kinda wish that there was a bit more variety to it, like if there were more things you can morph into, but the 3 work very well. They're all very balanced, not one is better than the other, and you have to use all 3 at some point in the game to progress. And I really enjoyed it. It was fairly unique, at least to me. Visually, this game is pretty cool. Lots of really cool colors in the sky, lots of purples, lots of pinks, orange, just a very Sherbert-like colors in the sky and in the environments. I think it all looks really cool. Even the enemies themselves looked pretty badass. The character models themselves look alright, though I do have a bit of a complaint with the faces. They just look a little odd to me. A lot of them look very smushed. And I get it, they're on a different planet, but I don't know. They could have made the faces look nicer, but it is what it is. It's a small nitpick, but overall, visually, this game looks really cool. Musically, this game is also very unique. Lots of techno-y, very much has a sci-fi sounding tone to all of the music, and I actually really liked it. Now, I know that the music of this game is probably going to turn off a lot of people, but I don't know, I just found it very strange and very unique, much like this game itself. Voice acting wise, I would say that this game was pretty good. A lot of notable names like Matt Evan, Debbie Mae West, Michael Bell is in this. So you got a pretty decent cast and they all do a very good job. There's a lot of puzzles in this game that you're going to have to solve. One of them in particular grew on me. You enter into this grid-like setting and you have to press the main buttons to move the squares, and you better not hit anything or else you have to restart the entire thing. And at first it got annoying because as you progress through this puzzle, it gets going faster and faster, but eventually you start to get the rhythm of it and it's not that bad. And there's even special attacks that require you to use this puzzle, and they actually become very helpful. So if you're going to play this game, I would say try to get good at that. And we move into my negatives. First off, I am not a fan of this game's story at all. My biggest complaint is that you're constantly told of what happened instead of them showing you Like, Pavo is the bad guy, and he got corrupted and shit, but it's like, couldn't you have at least shown me more of him other than the fact that he's evil and shit? Like, it'd have been cool. Then they introduced these other bad guys that have really no, like, personality or anything like that, and they're evil for the sake of being evil, just to add a bit more bosses to this game. And while the boss fights themselves are pretty fun, I just didn't enjoy the characters, and they weren't really memorable to me at all. Even your hero is kinda lame. Nevin isn't really that special of a character. The only character that I actually liked was Echo, the voice that is all around the game. Other than that, wasn't a huge fan of the characters, didn't care if they died or lived, but at least Stone had a pretty funny voice, so that was cool. Another complaint that I have about this game is that the level structure itself isn't that great. You have about 50 some levels in this game, but it's only a 4-hour game. So what you're going to be doing is you're going to go through the level very quickly, and you're going to be seeing a lot of loading screens. And that just kind of annoyed me. It reminded me of the Bouncer in that sense, where you're just going through levels really quickly and seeing a lot of loading screens. Difficulty-wise, I would say that this game is pretty standard, nothing too hard, nothing too easy, it's just right. Overall, Alter Echo is a solid game that just has a few hiccups for me to say is really good. If you find it at a cheap thrift store or wherever, I would say it's worth a playthrough, but it's not going to rock your balls off. Anyways guys, that's going to be it for me. Hope you enjoyed this video. Let me know down below what you thought of Alter Echo if you played it. Anyways guys, I'll see you next time.